Why would the New York Times try to discredit the content creators, our community here in China? Well, I'm going to be telling you why in this video. Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. And as you can tell by the beer in my hand that I take these guys really seriously. In this article, they say the top 6, and they call them YouTubers, so I'll call them YouTubers too. But we are really content creators. He says the top 6 have 1.1 million subscribers. We are a force to be reckoned with. But you see, what they don't tell you in this article is that's 1.1 million subscribers on YouTube. Yes, but the bulk of our subscribers are on Toutiao, Sigua, Bilibili, Weibo, Facebook, Twitter. We're all over the place. So you look at Matt from Gweilo Nation. He's got over 1 million subscribers, I think it is, on Toutiao. You look at the Barretts, I think 471,000 on Toutiao, but that's not counting their Bilibili. That's not counting all of their other channels. And I checked my cell phone just before I bought this beer, before I started this video, and the New York Times has 8 million subscribers, about 8 million subscribers, and they're hoping to get 8.5 million subscribers sometime in the next year. Okay, well, I hate to burst your bubble, guys, but the YouTubers, the content creators that are listed in this article by the New York Times have about as many subscribers worldwide, and maybe even more than the New York Times does. And this is why they try to discredit us, just for the fact that we have a voice, not just in the States, not just in Canada, but around the world. And people are actually starting to listen to us because we tell the truth. The New York Times has an agenda. They want to tell you how bad China is. We have an agenda. We want to tell you the truth about China because we're actually living the experience here in mainland China. There's a difference, isn't there? So I woke up this morning and the first thing I got on my WeChat was my daughter Miranda saying, here's a link to you on the New York Times. And you know, to somebody that doesn't do social media, that could be a big thing, the New York Times. For myself and Daniel Dumbrell and Lee Barrett and Max and Noelle from Mexicanos in China to whoever out there that actually does this for, well, I do it for a hobby, some of them do it for a living, some of them do it, well, most of us actually do it for a hobby. Just for the fact that it's we're just showing people our lives here in China. But for us, because we're so used to sort of being in that limelight, it's not a big deal. Not everybody has to look at the world like we do. And we understand that. We don't go out of our way to try to discredit what they say, unless we're attacked first, and then we have to defend ourselves. And you have to understand, boys and girls out there, that with a community as strong as we have, and we stuck together over the years, we have millions, literally millions of subscribers all around the world. We have an influence. I actually knew when I first saw this article that it was biased to the extreme. The subtitle on it was "Inside a Chinese Propaganda Campaign." Inside a Chinese propaganda campaign. How can you start something out, an unbiased article in the New York Times with a subtitle like that? You know what I mean? Like, holy smokes. Beijing influencing the China influencers. All right. So what they say is that we are influenced by the government of China. We only tell you what the Chinese government wants us to tell you. This is what they want you to believe. I don't have my own mind. I can't. Do you watch my stuff? Like, do you see where I go and what I do? How much fun I have? Drinking beer, retired in China, traveling to the extreme, beautiful life, just a carefree, perfect life, as far as I'm concerned. Do they understand that when they make this propaganda, American propaganda, against myself and our community here in China? And they know that our community here in China is a diverse community from all over the world. We have influence where they can only wish to tread in their articles, in their news, because we cover everything. We cover the entire world. And we're diverse because Lee Barrett and Ollie Barrett, well, Lee Barrett looks at the world different than I do because he's from Britain. Ollie, because he's younger and from Britain, he looks at the world differently than I do. Jason Lightfoot looks at the world different than I do. And Matt from Gweilo Nation is an American, so he looks at the world different than I do. The Mexicanos in China look at the world different than I do. They're from Mexico and they're young, and you know what I mean? So we all come at this from a different perspective, and this scares the living bejesus out of mainstream media, the New York Times, the politicians in the West, all of these people that would like to see us shut down. It scares them because we have such a diverse community. How do you attack a community like that? I guess with a New York Times article telling them all that we're being influenced by Beijing, by the government. We are a propaganda, Chinese propaganda campaign. It is what it is, guys. Like, seriously. So they're trying to make us look untruthful when we're trying to tell you the truth about our lives here in China. What about them? Do you believe that they're telling you the truth? Comment section below. Do you believe they're telling you the truth? It's not like the New York Times has no political influence. It's not like the New York Times has an agenda, a political agenda. It's not like the New York Times doesn't get money for doing what they do, or these reporters or whatever. What they're doing is they're trying to say that we are influenced. I'm influenced by the weather in China. I'm influenced by the food. I'm influenced by my wife, a Chinese person, my Chinese friends. I'm influenced by the traveling that I do around China. I'm influenced by a lot of things. Am I influenced by the government of China? I don't have much to do with the government of China, so I don't think that they really influence my videos. They might influence the idea that they influence the rest of the country, and that influences me to do videos to show you how my life is here in China. I think that's the only influence that the Chinese government has ever had over me or ever will have over me, because I sort of like it here. I like the idea that they have extreme laws against drug abuse, extreme laws against selling drugs, so you don't have drug addicts on every street corner. They have extreme laws against violence, so you don't have violence on the streets. They have a way of dealing with things, but I think overall in the Asian forum, it's like that everywhere. What I actually think is happening here is that they're trying to discredit us because we have such a wide audience out there. When you get a number of people in a community like what we have here in China, and everybody is telling you exactly the same thing. Everybody is telling you how it is, the truth about China. A truth about the government, about how safe it is, about the economy, about just how much of an interesting place it is. I think the mainstream media, the West, sort of looks at that and says, well, geez, we can't have our people seeing this stuff without having an alternate universe. An alternate universe. And that's basically what it is. They want their world to be the best world in the world, and it's just not anymore. I come from Canada. Canada's a great country. Canada has a little bit screwed up government at this point in time. But they've got clean air. They've got political correctness. They have the best fishing in the world. They have a lot of things, but they don't have an economy like China does. They don't have a population. They don't have the food. They don't have a lot of things. And when you look at a place like China, growing as fast as it is, the purchasing power parity is above what the United States is now. There's just so much opportunity here as compared to the rest of the world. They're growing while a lot of the Western countries are shrinking in influence. It's one of those things, and we tell you that. We see it every day, and we put it out to millions and millions of viewers every month. And that scares the living bejesus out of the American government. As that scares the living bejesus out of the American government, they get their mainstream media tools, well, let's call them tools, because that's what they are. They're just a wrench in the toolbox to try to discredit us so that you think what we're telling you isn't quite the truth. And as you think less of what we say, then they win because they've discredited us enough that there's doubt in your mind. I think one of their main problems that these people have in the West is they think that the whole world revolves around their country, their social media platforms, there. You know what I mean? And it doesn't. In our world over here, our world revolves around our life in China. It revolves around Chinese social media. It revolves around Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Sigua, Tutiao, Youku, Bilibili, Weibo, Douyin. It revolves around all of these different platforms, and we don't just make videos for YouTube, but that's what they think we do. And that's normal for these type of people to think that they are the center of the universe. When you look at the actual numbers of who we influence, the actual numbers are very small in places like the United States and Canada and Great Britain and Australia, New Zealand. We influence people in Malaysia, in Ecuador, in China, of course, in Indonesia, in Russia. I've even got subscribers from places that I've never even heard of. And you know, this is common for the Western world to think they are the center of the universe, and that they're always right, and their way of government is the best way, and anybody else that thinks anything different is somehow anti-American, anti-democracy, anti-this and anti-that. But that's not really the truth. What it is that they just have a different way of looking at the world, and the Americans don't want you to see that. They really don't want you to see it. The only reason that this article went out in the New York Times was to attempt to discredit myself, my colleagues here in China, the Chinese influencers that tell you the truth about their lives in China, whether they're from Mexico or Great Britain or Canada or wherever. It doesn't matter where they come from. Even the United States, Matt from Gweilo Nation. They try to discredit what we tell you. They try to make our word less than what it was yesterday. They don't want you to believe the truth as we tell it. And that's basically what this whole article was about. Inside a Chinese propaganda, yeah, you know what I mean, like seriously. And I'm here to tell you that it's all bullshit. They're grabbing at straws. They're scared of our community because we are telling you the truth. We are telling you exactly how it is in China, and they're trying to discredit that. And I guess maybe that's their job. I don't know. But that's another video from Gweilo 60. Here in an apartment complex in China, in Nanning, Guangxi Autonomous Region, China, my hometown here. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell. And whatever you do, don't forget to put a couple bucks in the children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye now. And if the likes of Lee Barrett and Matt from Gweilo and Max and Noelia from Mexicanos in China and Gweilo 60 and Barry and whoever else out there intimidates you to the point that you have to put articles to try to discredit them on mainstream media in the West, well, it just shows how pathetic you are. Like, seriously, guys, you know, but attacking one of us, there's not much retribution for that. Attacking all of us at the same time, well, now you have millions of subscribers going to be watching the counter videos to that article from the New York Times. So chances are that we're going to reach more people, because the New York Times article was sort of hid behind pay-per-view. You got to pay to read or see this article. So and you don't have to pay to see ours. So we're going to counter this with way more views to way more subscribers, and more people are going to see the anti-New York Times stuff than the anti-truthful China vlogger stuff. What a concept, eh? How did our community become so strong that we could actually put up a fight against a big corporation like the New York Times? Maybe it's because we tell the truth and they don't. Maybe it's because people actually listen to us because they know that we're upstanding citizens. Some of us drink too much, but that's just the way it is. But we are all, in our own way, telling you the truth about our lives here in China, where the mainstream media in the West is just fabricating stuff to fit their agenda. More people should be watching our stuff than their stuff, I guess.